now rocking with the best. Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie, you're listening to the fighter's voice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. It's Thursday. We're recording live here in Fresno, California. Our guest today is Top Rank's undefeated prospect. I mean, the kid is only 27 years old, 20 wins, no losses. Before I introduce him, we're going to talk about different things that we're going to be talking about, discussing on the show. We're going to talk about possibly Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather getting together one more time. And you're probably thinking to yourself, who really cares? But, you know, we care. Ticket sales across the seas and, you know, numbers don't lie. We're also going to tune in on Robert Garcia and see how he's doing with Anthony Joshua now that he's training the former two-time heavyweight champion of the world. We're going to get our guest take on upcoming fights this Saturday with Bam Rodriguez and see how he feels about women's boxing. We got the not undefeated, but undisputed welterweight champion of the world, and that's Jessica McCaskill. We're going to talk about her fight coming up. And we're going to talk about some fights that are taking place tonight in celebrity boxing. One of our former guests who's also going to be co-hosting with me next week on the show. We're going to get more in depth. But before we get started, I want to let everybody know, that the Fighter's Voice is going to be coming back strong. We got some new things in the works, and we're going to be able to scratch everybody that's itching for boxing news. Enough said, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce our guests. Once again, undefeated, 20-0, 27 years old, signed with Top Rank, and that's Giovanni "El Cabron" Cabrera. Welcome to the show, Giovanni.
Thanks so much for having me, Richard Ortiz. It's a pleasure.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. I've been hearing nothing but good things about you. First and foremost, Freddie Roach doesn't just train anybody. He doesn't mess with just anybody unless he sees potential, longevity, in a world champion, along with that work ethic. Before we talk about when he first put the boxing gloves on, how did that relationship start with you and Freddie Roach? Did that start back in the amateurs? Did it start at the professional rankings? When did your paths cross?
Actually, as an amateur, I had moved to LA and I began to train at Wildcard as an amateur to gain more experience. I spent about 9 months in LA, I think it was about 9 months, close to a year here. And a couple times I caught his attention, and I just remember him saying one thing. He says, "Hey, have you won a national title?" And I hadn't at the time. And he's like, "All right, well, and I felt like the feeling was kind of like, come back when you do."
Yeah.
And so yeah, after that, I'm sorry, let me just switch these.
Did he say that because he wanted you to come back after you do?
I believe so, sir.
Or it could be.
Because I went after that. I knew that I wasn't ready to turn pro yet. My journey led me to Mexico.
Okay.
I went to León, Guanajuato. That's where my father was born. I was fighting about every weekend, every 2 weekends. I racked up about I would say 30 fights in Mexico as an amateur.
Okay.
I won the championship of León, the state championship, the regional championship, and then in the national Olympic tournaments, I got bronze. I realized then, that I couldn't wait any longer. I had a hunger to join the professional ranks, and another persistent thought in my mind was, why fight for pesos when I could fight for dollars? So I came back to the United States, and I began my professional career in Chicago.
Tell us about Chicago. We just talked about it in the top of the show. I mentioned Jessica McCaskill, who's a women's undisputed world champion. She's fighting this Saturday on the undercard of Bam Rodriguez on DAZN. Do you and Rick Ramos, have your paths crossed? Do you know who he is, the trainer?
I've always seen Rick. I've always respected Rick. Rick is awesome. I think a lot of people doubted McCaskill when she was coming up, and she proved everybody wrong, man.
Yes, she did.
She's only gotten better and better. So to everybody's amazement, she continues to inspire, everybody, man. guy fighters, everybody from Chicago. You know, you want to be a champion. Look at how she did it. She didn't listen to anybody, and she did her own thing. So I'm proud.
Exactly. Let me take you back real quick to the question Freddie Roach asked you. He said, "Did you win a national title?" Now I know as a coach, when I was when we did travel baseball or travel soccer, whenever I came around a nice athlete, I would ask him, "Hey, did you play ODP or who did you play in front of?" I ask him that because that tells me who knows him. You know what I mean? Because other coaches want that player, that prospect. So maybe he's thinking, had you won a national title, that you're under the radar. Everybody knows who you are already. The fact that you didn't at the time, he has the shoe in because he knows exactly what you're capable of, and he definitely wants to look you up. So he knows what you're all about. Again, once you're winning a national title, everybody knows who you are. So there's other trainers out there. You have other options. But Freddie, as a competitive coach, maybe he asked you because as if to say, hey, nobody knows who this kid is. I'm going to sign this kid. I'm going to get this kid. I'm going to train this kid before somebody else does. So I'm not saying that's what happened, but that could be a possibility.
Yeah, I definitely think that he wants to see, you know, everybody has their proving grounds, you know?
Yeah.
I joined the boxing a bit late. You know, I started when I was 16. I became Golden Gloves champion of Chicago 3 years later. I was very proud of that. And I thought I was ready. I came to LA, realized that I wasn't. Went down to Mexico, back to my roots, learned that style, which was, you know, you have to go through the process. And Freddie sees when a guy has been through the process. Now, when I showed up to his gym in July, fortune favored me, and I landed a meeting with Freddie. I get to the gym in July on my birthday, July 19th of last year, and he tells me, he says, well, kid, if you're good, you can stay. We'll see. You know, you still have to prove yourself. 2 days later, Manny Pacquiao arrives for Earl Spence. He says, hey, Gio, you know, you're southpaw, you're Earl Spence's height and weight. You know, Manny wants to meet you. Maybe if he likes you, you know, you could spar him on Saturday. I'm like, damn, Manny Pacquiao. Now, that's one of my idols. For me, Manny Pacquiao has been the most prolific, exciting fighter since Ali, you know. Done for the people, you know, conquered multiple weight classes. Incredible. So for him to say that, I was shaking in my bones with excitement, fear, everything. It was incredible. 5 minutes before he gets there, 2 days later, he says, Gio, Pacquiao just fired both of his sparring partners. He wants to go 6 rounds with you right now. I was like, time to put my money where my mouth is, you know?
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for. You might just get it.
That's right.
I say yes. He says, okay, get ready. You know, Pacquiao's team comes, about 30, 40 dudes, you know, all protecting him. You know, you feel it, man. He's coming. The champ is here. You know, NBA players start coming in. The Black Eyed Peas come in. It was incredible. And I'm sitting here like, oh God, that's one of the few times that I truly prayed and said, you know what? Just let me be proud of my efforts here today. And those efforts, said Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach, after I got down from the ring of going 6 good rounds with Pacquiao, he says, okay, you can stay. He says, I knew 2 things were going to happen. Either you were going to say, you know, you're going to do it, or you're going to get knocked out, you know? So I like that. Trial by fire as always.
There you go. Hold on real quick. Do we have that picture? It's him, and then you have Manny Pacquiao in the back. I think I sent it to you. Yeah. He's in the background. If you don't know who he is, you just see a fighter in the background, but that's Manny Pacquiao. Look at the expression on his face. I'm posting it right now. There's a picture. You're wearing a wild card black boxing shirt, and you kind of look like John Leguizamo right now, and there's Manny Pacquiao in the background, as if to say, you're saying to yourself, wow, okay, God, walk in the ring with me, and let me be myself, and let me put up or shut up. And, you know, hey, God knows the desire of your heart, and he blessed you tremendously with that opportunity.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And I remember, and you know, that intensity, that energy, when you share the ring with someone like that, you know, they elevate you.
Absolutely.
Only because I was so afraid was I able to keep up with him. You know, a lot of fighters tend to fight to the level of the opposition because you feel their energy and it's kind of stagnant that way. Well, when you got a killer like Pacquiao in the ring, you have no time to think. Every cell in your body is afraid, so your reflexes are faster than they've ever been.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm going to share a quick story with you. I had the opportunity of interviewing Manny Pacquiao. And all the questions, the press asked him all these questions. And so all the questions that I kind of had, they were just there. The best thing that happened to me was Sean Gibbons, Viva Sean. He said, okay, Richard, you're next. So when I went in there, I didn't have time to think. We just jumped right into it. You know, I didn't have time to it dawned on me, okay, this is the senator of the Philippines. It didn't hit me until I'm driving home from LA back to Fresno. I didn't see him as the champ. I saw him as, man, that was the senator of the Philippines. And then it started to hit me on the way home. So I'm glad I was comfortable. I was prayed up and ready to go. And, you know, you got to make sure that you're ready. When that opportunity is there, you grasp it. And it sounds like you did a great job.
I appreciate that. Hopefully I did. You know, I just want to continue to give my best effort to make the people that know me proud. That's really it.
So after the sparring session took place, I mean, there had to be, you might have went up to him and said, hey, I appreciate the opportunity. What was it like meeting Manny Pacquiao outside of the ring? We know what it's like inside. I don't personally, but, you know you as a fighter.
He didn't say much, but he taught everything by what he didn't say. You know, he's not looking for what all fighters are looking for. He's not looking for attention. He's not looking for anything. All that matters is the work. All that matters is the rhythm on the speed bag, how hard he's hitting. You know, it's like cut the bullshit, man.
Yeah.
And like me, you know, like being with this icon who I've looked up to since my childhood, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm in the big time now. You know, I'm with these guys. Oh, this is great. This is great. And they're looking at me like, you got a lot to learn, kid. You know, like that's not what it's about. What's about, you're gonna see what it's about. And when I saw him and Freddie Roach hit the mitts, that's when I knew what it was about. It's about that. It's about the work. It always has been. And anyone that gets distracted with everything else, you know, good luck.
Besides being caught up in it all, what did you get out of it personally? What, besides being able to meet and greet and compete with, what did Giovanni come out with that? I mean, when you left the ring, what was in store with you? What did you learn? Off the jab, how to move? You might have brought something with you. You might have not remembered that night, but maybe later on it played out in your career.
I just know that when I felt Manny's ferocity, I knew I was there to meet it.
Okay.
That's what I knew. That's what I got. And in here, I realized that if I can go toe-to-toe with one of the greatest of all time, that says something, you know? And I'm here to make a name in boxing. I'm not here to be quiet, you know? I'm here to make noise. And I'm not going to do it with my mouth. I'm going to do it with my fist. And I've defeated more undefeated fighters than I believe anybody in boxing. If you can show me another fighter who's beat 7 undefeated fighters in 20 fights, I can't name one. You show me. You show me. Please show me. I don't, you know what? And I've been shy to talk about it really, but you know what? It needs to be said, and not for any other purpose except for the recognition of the work.
Hey man, I mean, you may get a text from me late at night and say, I don't got 7, but I know this guy to beat 4, so, and his career's still going, so he's trying to play catch up to you. So, we'll find out, because I always like to take that dare or that challenge, and now I got to find him. I got to find out exactly what's going on. But I'm not really a big fan of Google. You know, I mean, it's what I know or what I can learn, but it is what it is, and we'll try to see what we can come up with. Let's talk about July 23rd. We're going to skip around because I'm going to ask you about some different questions. Let's talk about July 23rd. Somebody from Stockton, California is standing in your way, in the way of your goal, of what you want to achieve in boxing, and his name is Gabriel Flores Jr. What did you think once that fight was announced? What did you think personally about him? Because I know you watched him, you know, he's in your weight class now throughout your career. Is there any adjustments you're going to make? Are you going to stay the same person? Or are you already watching film? Or what is your strategy without giving away your strategy?
I'm going to be myself in the ring. You know, I've been working on a few things. I'm not going to reveal them.
Sure,
but
absolutely.
I just got to say that Freddie sees it, and the guys in the gym see it, and they're very confident in what we have ready. You know what? It's up to him to adjust to me. You know, I think some people have said it, but there hasn't been a style quite like mine. I've also been out of the ring for a little bit, and I'm getting back into tip-top prime shape. You know, every single time I'm feeling even better than I was before. You know, this is a new level now. I'm at a new level with the top people in the world, legendary trained, I don't countless world champions. You know, elite world championship level sparring. You know, I respect my opponent. I've seen him. He's a skilled fighter. I got nothing bad to say about Gabriel Flores Jr. but respect. But I'm here. I'm here to continue to do what I've done since the beginning.
And
Kick ass, take names, take O's. Too bad his O already went. But I have tested myself.
Did you watch that fight? Did you watch that fight where he suffered his first defeat? And what did you get out of it?
I did. No, it just wasn't his night. Okay. It just wasn't his night for many reasons. He knows why. We don't know why. You know, every fighter knows what they did and what they didn't do. And, you know, I know that he's going to train hard for this fight. He's smart. If he's really smart, he knows that he's better prepared the hardest he's ever prepared for any other fight. You know, and that's just the fact. That's just the fact. The team, the momentum that I'm building, the energy that I'm bringing, it's going to be a great fight, and the fans are going to love it.
You know, I wanted to go to that fight. I believe, what was it, in Minnesota?
It's going to be in Minnesota. You should definitely come to the fight. It'd be amazing.
I do want to go, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, we'll see, man. I gotta check these ticket prices as far as flights, because you know I'll put in for a credential with Top Rank, and hopefully they'll accommodate me. But we're talking about the airfare. But I do want to see that fight, and I hope it takes place, because a lot can happen between now and then. This is boxing. I hope there's no injuries. I hope there's no holdup. I hope it does take place, because I think it's going to be a make 'em break 'em fight for both of you. Whoever comes out victorious takes that leap, that next step right into the 135-pound division.
Well, I agree slightly that it's a very important fight, but if his loss didn't break him, I mean, I do not plan to lose. I plan to win. I plan to dominate, and I plan to execute the game plan. But nothing will make or break me. I believe that I have what it takes to be a champion, and real champions, no matter what, they rise. So, one loss, and I'm not afraid to lose. That's why I've fought so many undefeated fighters. And if I lost, I would not be ashamed if I gave it my best, and it was an amazing show. So that's why I'm constantly willing to be a real and true champion and fight the best opposition, because I know that if I lose, it's going to be very close to any world champion. You know, like I'm in the leagues. I'm in the leagues with everybody. I can go toe to toe with anybody, and I've proven it with some of the best people in the world in the gym. They know it. My trainers know it. So I just want to make the people of Leon proud. Every journey, every step in my journey, from Seattle, Chicago, Mexico. You know, the people that know me, who are on my team and support me, those are the people who have given me little bits of inspiration to keep going. You know, boxing is an incredibly hard test. You know, I would say it's the hardest sport in the world. And you know what? When I win, we all win. That's what I believe.
So let's talk about that statement. So that means your team. Let's talk about your team. Let's talk about your manager, your trainer, those are in your team that inspired you.
Yeah, you know what? It's like when you come into boxing, especially when you've been through the process, you fought through the fire and you made it. Now you're in the big leagues with guys like Freddie Roach, signed with Top Rank. You know, probably now the oldest and promotional company in boxing. There's just, if you come in with an open mind, it's just enough of the bullshit, man. Like, you know, that's really what it's all about. You know, you get to learn the business. You get to know just even from the minute details, the way that Freddie wraps hands. People coming in the gym, he's wrapping our hands, or everyone's like looking like, oh, like they've never seen anything like it. The level of professionalism, you know. And I had to adjust, and I had to get better, because nobody's place is safe under Freddie Roach. If you don't do what he wants you to do, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? So I just respect him, man. I respect it, and I am where I'm meant to be.
Well, that's good. And let's give some props to Wildcard Jim, and let's also give some props to Marie, because Without Marie there, man, that gym just doesn't function. I mean, she runs it, man. I mean, Marie,
Absolutely.
you want her on your side, man. I mean, she's awesome.
No, yeah. Marie has always given me great advice from the beginning on how to conduct myself and just learning and you know, just paying attention to the process. You know, if you stop talking, you can learn a lot. You know, and I feel like a lot of people, you know, boxing is very ego driven. You know, because we gotta believe in ourselves. Otherwise, how the hell are we supposed to get up there and do what we do in front of all these people? But that should never distract from seeing clearly. And yeah, this is, you know, this is it, man. It's time to learn. It's time to put on a show. It's time to give fans what they want. I want to make some money. I want to make some noise, and it's my time. I'm young. I'm 27. I've never lost. Let's go.
You know, I'm laughing a little bit because I'm sure, how many people in your lifetime has said you look like John Leguizamo?
Well, Benny from the Bronx?
Benny from the Bronx, exactly.
Benny from the Bronx.
Exactly. Benny from the Bronx, exactly.
It's so funny. My first fight on Showtime, they said the same thing. Everybody in Chicago, I'm making fun.
And you'll take his bank account. And also a little bit, here's an old school movie right here. Soda Pop from The Outsiders. Matt Dillon, I believe it is. Is it Matt Dillon? Is Matt Dillon? A little bit of Matt Dillon too. A younger Matt Dillon.
I appreciate that, brother.
And also the light heavyweight Ramirez.
Oh, Surdo Ramirez.
Yes,
huh?
yeah, a little bit.
I've heard that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe we're brothers. Maybe my dad's not telling me something. Huh?
Hey, it could be. Hey, you're both southpaws, right?
That's right.
He got some explaining to do. But I do love your confidence and you know, hearing your work ethic. Like I said, Freddie just don't mess with anybody. I mean, you know, you made that contact and he knew your bridges. I mean, your paths would cross again, and now you're here. July 23rd, man, it's going to be around the corner, and I'm sure you're going to put in the work and do everything necessary to be successful. But along the way, you know, there's always these little hiccups, but it sounds like, you know, you got a hiccup-free camp so far. I mean, the weight is on where you need to be right now. You're healthy. And a lot of fighters do say, because my research team did ask, you know, a lot of fighters do say they're in the best shape of their life. And I know you're barely starting to get there where you start to hit in peak form and you're starting to get ready. Because right now, there's a lot of confidence going on. When you start to get agitated and close to the fight, that's a normal process. That means he's ready. Keep that fire lit on him. That bull is ready to go, and that bull's going to see red July 23rd.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There's one mission on my mind, and it's to just give the best performance that I can. I think I laugh when people try to define me. You cannot define me because, you know, it's up to the styles and the night and the event and the boxer and judges. I would ask that, you know, if people are going to judge me on the people that I've defeated, you know. And I'm very versatile. I can box, I can switch lefty and righty. I can brawl.
Conventional, bit, huh?
So it just depends on the opponent. I'll do anything to win and to make them uncomfortable. And if that requires for me to box, if that requires for me to brawl, I'll do just that.
Well, what I want you to do right now, and this question is coming in from Top Rank's own Frank Stea. He said, please ask him to name his top favorite 5 fighters that are active boxers currently from Chicago.
Currently from Chicago, I would say, well, one of the best inspirations is Jessica McCaskill. She's the champ, and ain't nobody could say that from Chicago except for her. So God bless her. One of my favorite guys is Alex Martin. Alex Martin, he used to be, you know, I think he was an Olympic alternate.
Okay.
You know, national champion. Always a great guy. I grew up with him in the gym. We always kind of looked up to that guy, and you know, he's tough as they come from the South Side. His name is Alex Martin, Chi-Town Heat. Another guy, Dejuan Johnson. Dejuan Johnson is one of the most clever, sneaky boxers from Chicago as well. I used to go to their gym on 73rd in Richland, Stony Island, with the trainer Anthony Ivory, who himself is one of those journeymen who wanted the money and fought everybody with zero fear. So I love that kind of that attitude. Christian Williams is another good fighter. Christian Williams, another amateur standout from Chicago. So those are the guys I used to go. From where I live, I went to high school in Downers Grove. So I would go to the south side with my brother, and we would find the toughest, biggest, baddest gyms. We'd walk in there, everybody would be like, look at this kid, he wants to spar, and I would show him differently, and I'm like, oh shit, this kid is for real. So I grew up sparring those guys, and I respect them, and hats off to them. One of the best gyms also, I always used to go to Sam Colonna Boxing. It's right there on 35th Street, 35th in California, kind of back of the yards area in Chicago. All the guys in his gym are amazing as well. So let's see. So that was 3. Nathaniel Gilmore.
I think that was more than 3. But,
he's another really good, tough guy. Obviously, you know what? Josh Hernandez. Josh Hernandez is a very good fighter. I always wanted to fight him, and I respect him. And we had a great fight on the zone. But it was actually after the main event, so didn't get much publicity. Yeah. But it was incredible. Me and him, we went toe to toe, and he was always considered the other best guy in my weight class. Mm-hmm. So I think those fighters are the ones that I respect the most.
Well, I think you left out the most important one from Chicago, man.
Giovanni Cabrera.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your nickname, man. How did you come across that nickname?
I can't really say the story.
Al Cabron. I mean, who gave that to you?
Someday it could come out, but I'll just say that it was given to me at Wildcard for something I did.
Okay.
For something I did, but one day it'll come out. One day it'll come out.
Well, hey. Okay. When you come back on the Fighter's Voice, we'll talk about it. Maybe after your fight.
That's right. I have to ask permission. But I just kept proving myself, and I did something pretty incredible. And they said, "Yo, that guy's El Cabron." And I said, "You know what? I am El Cabron." And I said, "That's right." But no, I always say I never wanted to have a nickname. I really didn't have a nickname my entire career because I thought it was a bit silly to make mine up. I wanted it to be given to me, and I wanted to earn it. So
there you go.
It just turned out to be that, and I guess the boxing god smiled on me on this one. Because so much we represent in Mexican culture is ser cabrones, which means badass, tough.
Chingón.
Go, skilled, So I'm really proud of that. I think and the Mexican fans will enjoy it as well.
No, exactly. What they're also going to enjoy. What's going to be your walkout apparel? What do you got set ready to walk out in? I mean, what's your wardrobe going to look like? What can we expect?
Definitely something representing Chicago, something representing the Mexican people. We are some of the greatest fighters of all time, and we continue to be the biggest fan base, and we need to be heard and seen in this sport. So,
what walkout song will you use? What song is going to instrument you to
Caminos
do your
de
best?
Guanajuato by Jose Alfredo Jimenez.
You got it down already.
It is the anthem of Guanajuato, the state, and León, of where I'm from.
Yeah.
And it's a very romantic song by one of the greatest Mexican songwriters of all time. And one of the lyrics is, what is it? Ahí se apuesta la vida y se respeta el que gana. In León, Guanajuato. So he's saying, in León, Guanajuato, we bet with our lives and we respect who wins. And I'm like, what a more perfect song to describe boxing. So that's where I come from, and that's the spirit that I'd like to embody.
Well, hey, man, it sounds like you got everything together, ready for that fight. I want to ask you something. Why are you walking in the ring first if you're the undefeated fighter?
You know what? To be honest, for me, it just
Put
doesn't
that poster up.
matter. It just doesn't matter. You can walk in before, after, during commercial. Like, for me, it doesn't matter. I'm there to take care of business, and I just want to give a great fight. You know, I know who I am. I know that I'm going to be champion of the world, and it's just I'm there to prove that. That's the only thing I'm there to prove.
When did you make that decision? What inspired you to become a fighter? I didn't ask you that because I'm sure I looked at you. You're very athletic. You could have played a lot of sports. I'm sure you did some cross country, possibly some soccer, some baseball. I can see all those positions in different sports in your path. Why the sport of boxing?
Because for me, boxing is the ultimate rejection of what is expected of you from society. You know, we're kind of like the rock stars of sports because we defy all the rules. We take matters into our own hands, and everything. The blame is on us. The victory is on us. You know, what better way to take control of your life? You know, to take control of your destiny. I know that no matter what happens, it's because I made it happen this way. And it comes great responsibility, but also great power and liberty and that kind of thinking. So yeah, I feel like the different paths laid out before me didn't really fit. But for some reason, I kept winning. They always say your vocation chooses you, right? So yeah. I think boxing chose me. And I keep stumbling into working with greats. You know, I feel like my trajectory has always been towards this, and I haven't done it quietly, so I just want to continue.
Well, talking about who picks who and what picks you out of life, out of all the trainers in the world, we're talking about the former two-time heavyweight champion of the world, and that's Anthony Joshua. He had his pick of trainers. He could have selected anybody, and anybody would have been honored to work with him. I mean, who doesn't want to work with a heavyweight contender now, a former world champion? But he chose Robert Garcia from Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. What do you think about the fit, and what do you think about Robert leaving his comfort zone of Riverside and heading all the way down to where Anthony Joshua's at, and that's in London?
Well, you know, that's the Mexican spirit. We cross the oceans to do whatever, man. You know, like, I love that about them. You know, those guys, Robert Garcia, for me, he's awesome. They got great style, great, fajador style. And I think that's what Anthony Joshua has seen, that, you know, if you want to learn how to fight and trade punches and get that back, like I think some people think that he needs, I think it's a good fit. So that's very cool that he did that.
Not only that, Robert is actually going to be getting on a flight if he's not already there. He's going to be heading to Texas to go cover the corner of his fighter, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who's headlining this Saturday on DAZN Boxing. And Jennifer Catskill's on the undercard. I mean, we're talking about a dedicated trainer. Bam Rodriguez said on an interview, I'm not sure if it was by Kern Bhatia or by, I'm not sure exactly who's the one who interviewed him today. And he said he was honored just to know that Robert is going to travel all the way to his fight, leaving training camp, and then get back on a flight and head right back to work with Anthony Joshua. What does that tell you about the dedication of a trainer? And if you, a fighter, knew that Freddie was way across on the one side of the world and decided to come back just to work your fight, how would that make you feel?
It would be great. It would be great. At the end of the day, it's like I keep saying, and all the greats and every great that I meet in the next level, higher up and up, you know what? They don't care because it's all about the work, you know? Yeah. And Robert Garcia clearly is a worker, man. You know, like he cares about the win. He cares about the hard work. And you know, Mexicans are work horses. You know, my father has worked his whole life, you know, taking care of my family. You know, that's what we do. That's our style.
I agree with you. I mean, it's funny to ask a question that I already know the answer to, and these are the questions that I got to ask, because we're talking about a dedicated trainer, not just a fighter, because the trainer requests and expects dedication. But when you see a trainer returning the favor and knowing, hey, man, I need to be there for my fighter because, one, nobody knows him like I do. And to make that fighter feel special, I mean, that has to be uplifting, because Bam's, 15-0. He's taking on somebody that has over 50 fights. So experience could take its toll or, make the difference. So he knows he needs to be there because Bam is a very special fighter. I put on Twitter just the other day, Bam Rodriguez is 2 fights away from breaking the top 10 pound for pound, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, well, I wish him luck. I think the universe always rewards courage. So if he feels that he can do it, I think he has a great chance.
Talk about getting things done. Okay. Devin Haney. I mean, he's now the undisputed, lightweight champion of the world, man. I mean, he went down under, actually, and made it happen. All the way down in Australia. Cambosos. I mean, after he fought a perfect fight against Teofimo Lopez. Now, looking at, and Teofimo Lopez took the bout away from, as you know, the Matrix man himself, Lomachenko. Mm-hmm. So you see these bouts continue to change hands. Now, once your opportunity comes, Giovanni, and if you are awarded a world title, when do you say to yourself, hey, I'm not ready just to give it up. I've worked too damn hard just to give it up. Does that inspire you more? Will it because you got to already see it happening. Because, if you see it, believe it, you give it life, it comes to life. So I know you envisioned that before, having your name called and new world champion, etc. How do you think that's going to change your life, being a world champion?
I hope that, I just don't lose track of what's important.
And what is important to you? Without getting too personal, what is important to you, Giovanni?
What's important to me is the performance. It's what I'm gonna be remembered for. The opposition that I faced, the tough. It's like, what war will you be remembered for? That's what I want. That's what I want to be remembered for. Great fights. I want to be a champion. And when I become, and I want to take care of my family. That's all I want to do. I want to take care of my family. I want to become champion. And for me, at least for boxing, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So I'm ready to fight the best. And I'm going to continue to do that until I lose. I'm not afraid to lose. That's the thing. Everybody's so afraid to lose. I am undefeated because I'm not afraid to lose. I've defeated undefeated fighters because I'm not afraid to lose. Do I want to lose? Hell no. Am I? Hell no. But, yeah, man, my plan is, if I become champion of the world, I definitely just want to use it somehow. Fighters like Ali or Manny Pacquiao, they always gave back to the people, and I don't know what that is yet. What's coming. I don't know what's coming, but I'm waiting for my calling to do that. If I can somehow help young Mexican fighters, young kids from Chicago, so if anyone is watching this and wants to reach out, and if there's anything I can do, please let me know.
Well, there you go. That's very nice that you're willing to give back before you put on the strap. A lot of people wait till they become champion, or they get that extra figure, that extra zero behind their check. But you're willing to give back today, right now, this minute.
Well, of course, and it's more about, as more people get to know my name, I'm going to be able to speak more, and hopefully on bigger platforms. And we're all in this together, man, and this is what boxing is so beautiful, because I am the working man. I am the Mexican. My father came to this country illegally, and now I'm going to be champion of the world soon. So I want to give that back, and I want every kid to believe that that's possible for him as well.
Well, you know what? Let's give a shout out to your family, man. I mean, you got brothers, you got sisters. You want to say hello to them, and or let them know, hey, you're that one holding everything together.
Yeah, my big brother. I grew up fighting my big brother my whole life. He weighs like 250 pounds. So I've been fighting a heavyweight my whole life. So I want to say hi. He likes to take credit and say that he made me. One second. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
One second. Hey, could you guys shut up for a second? Seriously, shut the fuck up. I love you guys.
I like that. Only on the Fighters Voice Kick-Ass podcast. We keep it 100. It's okay to keep it 100, man. I like that. That's good, man. You took charge, Giovanni. You did. So I got to ask you about other sports too, man. I mean, who's your favorite football team? Who's your favorite basketball team? And do you watch any baseball at all? These are questions coming in.
Well, my father grew up watching the Pittsburgh Steelers. He loves the Steelers. Obviously, the Chicago Bulls. Okay. Michael Jordan has been an incredible legend.
Sure.
And a huge inspiration for everyone in Chicago, a big icon. And if you saw the Last Dance documentary, his work ethic is incredible. That competitiveness that Michael Jordan had really took leagues above everybody else. And guys like Floyd Mayweather, the same, man. Like, those guys have something in their brain, and it's something to learn from, But yeah, Michael Jordan, clearly the Bulls, one of the greatest dynasties ever, man. So the Bulls, Pittsburgh Steelers, and obviously my football team of León, Guanajuato, pura panza verde.
Okay, there you go. There you go. You got everything together, man. Talking about Floyd Mayweather. Just came in the news that it's a possibility. There's talks in the works right now with him and possibly fighting Conor McGregor once again. If it does happen, what's your take on it as far as, these fights taking place and as far as Mayweather controlling his own career, even after his career?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Okay. What's your take on a possibility of Conor McGregor sharing the ring once again with Floyd Money Mayweather? There's talks that it's in the works, that it may take place. It may be signed pretty soon.
It's fun. I mean, I say make as much money as you can, Like, it's not, I don't even, in terms of boxing merit, of course it doesn't hold that much, but I'm not going to hate on that or the YouTubers fighting because, hey, like, those guys are making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Most boxers get used and abused by the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these guys find a little way to bring some attention to the sport, make their money. Now, at the same time, come on. I think boxing promoters around the world, critics, writers, everybody, we got to just call it what it is and not try to pretend that it's like the great thing or like it's something serious.
Yeah.
But it is very courageous as hell for those guys to get in the ring and just do the thing. But Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor too. Let's see it. I'll watch it.
I want to watch it again. I'll check it out. Now, why is that? Okay, let me put promoter's hat on you. In business, this is the business part of Giovanni Cabrera. Why is that fight so easy to make, and yet we're still struggling on putting this prime fight that the whole world has been waiting for? And I'm talking about Errol Spence Jr. taking on Terrence Bud Crawford. I mean, we need that fight to happen. Why is that fight so difficult?
In history, there's been those fantasy fights that have never been made, right? And we all kind of like, damn, what if? And it's one of the last itches that the boxing audience has. They want to see these two killers get it on, man, and it would be an incredible fight.
If that fight does take place, say it's signed, because they're talking about possibly October, early November, it taking place. Who do you have in that fight, and why? Do you have that picture?
You know what? I feel like there is.
And they're both undefeated. They're both undefeated. You got Crawford 38-0, 29 knockouts. You got Errol Spence 28-0, 22 knockouts. Both in their prime. Both world champions. Why is this fight not taking place?
I don't think anyone. Those guys are true champions and they're brave, man.
Yeah.
They fought the best that they could. They really have, But sometimes things just don't line up. I know, like you said, there's a million reasons why this fight could or could not happen. Even now, my fight. So if things don't line up properly in terms of business promotion and all the other details, there's a lot of things to consider. Yeah, the time is right. I think the time is now, and it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great.
Giovanni, I want to talk about who do you think is going to win the fight. But before I do that, don't get mad at me, okay? Don't get mad at me. The minute this fight was announced, okay, and I'm going to go with my gut feeling, okay? Don't get upset with me. I think something's going to happen. I don't think this fight is going to take place. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I am just saying. I don't think it is. I hope it does. I want it to take place. I look forward to it. Not to worry you or not to, you keep concentrating and doing what you're doing, okay? I'm not a promoter. I'm not in the business. I didn't make contact with anybody. That's just my gut feeling.
Well, you can't really, you must know something that
No. So that's what I wanted to get clear. No, I don't know.
So what happens if the fight doesn't happen?
I'm just saying that maybe Giovanni Cabrera gets a title shot. Maybe they keep you on there and they just say, hey, something's going on. Or maybe Gabriel Flores gets a title shot. A lot of things can happen. I'm just putting a spin on this right now.
I think it's just a little bit early for me to fight for the welterweight. I want to come for the lightweight title.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, not welterweight. I mean, lightweight title, yes. And then we'll grow into our body, our natural weight, and then we'll take it from there and bring that power with us.
Yes, sir. Yeah, everything to its time. If I do become champion of the world, I hope to, just keep moving up and fight for the next title until I lose. That would be ideal. I would like to go out in a blaze.
I've never been to Minnesota. There's still time, man. I'm gonna check out these flights and see what they run. I want to get down there, man. I want to see that fight. I want to see this fight take place. I want to see it happen. I want to see you walk in the ring, and I want to see you both make.
I hope you make it out. I know everyone's gonna. I have a lot of people coming, and I know that it's gonna be a great night for boxing.
I know it is. The reason being is because, like I said, Freddie just doesn't take anybody on. I know the Flores camp. They're going to be ready. They're going to do everything they need to do to stay in the mix of the 135-pound division, which is Gabriel's first fight at 135 pounds. Moving up from 130 pounds. Knowing that, do you think it helps the fighter or the fighter needs to transition to another division? What's your take on that?
I'm sorry. So you were talking about how Gabe started at a lower weight class and now he's moving up?
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, it's just about like what your conception is versus what reality is. Some people still feel like they're featherweights but are walking around at like 150, Yeah. So, it's just accepting, and growing and learning and understanding your body as a fighter and just kind of adapting to that. I think obviously you can't make that weight anymore. You gotta move up.
Yeah.
So,
well, to my knowledge, he is moving up. That is to my knowledge. I mean, I've made mistakes before, and I will stand corrected, and it's an honest error. But the last statement was we were moving up in division, in weight, which is your weight class now.
Well, I'm sorry, but I think it was a mistake.
Okay, well, being that said, man, I really can't wait for this fight to take place, and I'm looking to see the peak of both of your both of you guys' progression in your career, and how one is going to respond with victory and how one is going to respond with defeat. Knowing that boxing has a small window, and you said it best. You said, "I want to stay here for." I believe you said something like a good time, not a long time.
Mm-hmm.
In boxing, why is that? Why is that statement being made? It's because you have a plan, or you know what it's like to see fighters stick around too long.
Absolutely, I know what it's like for fighters to stick around for too long. And it's just about what is it that you want. Because if you want to stick around and be famous, like hats off to you. I know that boxing is too difficult to just stick in for that. Yeah. It's about making legacy. It's about getting titles, and it's about making money. So you just got to find what drives you. For me, it's going to be historic fights and titles. Hopefully, I make it there. I think I'm on the right track, and I just want to do that, man. The minute that that is dwindling, I'm like, okay, I've had a good run, and hey, have there's a lot of things to do in life, and boxing for me has been the biggest, most intense and rewarding journey, and I'm not even close to being done yet. So that's how I see it.
Well, that's a good outlook at it, and that is reality. I don't know if you're familiar with, Fresno's own Jose Ramirez, and then you got New Orleans Regis Prograis, and then you also have Zapata, and then you have Arnold Barboza, and I'm talking about the meat of the 140-pound division. You also have Teofimo Lopez, who is moving up to the 140-pound division. Now, that division is packed with heat, packed with fire. If you were a betting man and you had to put your last dollar on one man to clean up that division, and let's not talk about not disrespecting the undefeated world champion and Josh Taylor, who would you put your last dollar on in that division to clean it up? When I say clean it up, just say, hey, this is my division.
You know what? I like Regis Prograis' style, the way he boxes. I think it's very clean. But Zepeda, I've seen him in the gym, and he's clever as hell, man. I think people don't understand. He's really clever. He's got great timing, and he's dangerous, man. So you all named, really, really good guys. I think any one of those guys is going to do great. But as the ones that I know, who I've seen, I think Zepeda has got a good chance. But Regis, I've seen him on TV. He's got great style, so I think it's up to those two guys.
Man, I mean, I agree with you. And I believe his timing. After that Ramirez fight, that close fight in Fresno, California, he has been a man on a mission. He no longer wants it to go to the scorecards. He's became a knockout artist. And, he's been laying hands on people. He's crafty. When I interviewed him in Fresno, I told him he reminded me of a Mexican Pernell Whitaker. Just his movement and just his counterpunching, and he's ready for that title shot. And you also got Arnold Barboza. I mean, one of the toughest guys out there, tough as nails. I think him and Regis would just be a barn burner.
That'd be great. Yeah, the fans would love to see it for sure.
And also, man, I can't forget about Fresno's own, man, Jose Ramirez, man, who's on a mission and waiting for that title opportunity once again.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. That division is stacked. It'll be fun to see him fight it out,
Giovanni, before I let you go, man, what do you got to say to all the fans, the followers that support you and admire what you're doing and waiting for you to get that opportunity?
I just want to say thank you for sticking with me this long. I made it out the pandemic. I got with the best in the world, and I've talked for a long time about what I wanted to do when I get my shot, and the opportunities are coming. I just want everybody to know that the struggle has been real, and I love all you guys who have been supporting me and believing in me, and I just want to make everybody proud. I want to make my people, my Mexican people proud, my Italian Americans proud, everybody that's been on my journey. I love all of you, and we're going after greatness, so thank you.
How do we follow you? How do we stay in contact with you? How do we support you?
Please follow me on Instagram at Gio Cabrera Boxing. At Gio Cabrera Boxing.
That's just Instagram. Do you have a Twitter or Facebook? Do you have a YouTube?
I also
Plug
have
it now.
a Facebook page, Giovanni Cabrera Boxing. So those are the two things that I have. I'm not really big on social, but I do it here and there. But man, this journey being out here has taught me that, like, you're chasing those other things, you cannot be fully chasing boxing. You have to. I'm just dedicated to the road work. I'm dedicated to sparring, and you'll see my performance, man. I hope it shows.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to let you go just yet. I can't just let you slide out. That first bell rings. Round number 1. What can we expect come July 23rd?
I'm gonna be there. Freddie's gonna be my corner, and I'm gonna be ready to fight, man. Have two. I know that in the first round you're gonna see two fighters willing to put it all on the line, and we're gonna give the fans a great show.
I'm sure Gabriel Flores, he's also training. He's also preparing himself. Now he's relaxing. And he's probably saying to himself, what the hell? I'm going to watch the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass podcast. Do you have any words or any message for Gabriel Flores Jr., who's possibly watching live right now?
If he's watching, thank you for accepting the fight, brother. You got courage, and let's give the fans a great show.
Class act. I like that. It's going to be one hell of a fight. I look forward to it. Giovanni, you've been a class act, man. You've been a fun guest. You've made me laugh. You had me go where no man has gone before, really. I've already got, because of a statement I made earlier on the show, a lot of text messages, but it's okay. You know why, Giovanni? Because I can say whatever I want to say. It's freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech.
That's right.
It's freedom of
speech. It's America,
speech.
Baby.
It's
We're
America,
free to
baby.
Do what we want. We fight whoever we want. Let's go.
Fight whoever we want, man. Exactly. So you know what? Hey, I appreciate you coming on the show, man, and I'm going to make sure that I continue to pump you up and promote the fight. There's a nice poster of both you and Gabriel on there, and I'm looking forward to a great fight. Don't ask me to pick a winner. Don't ask me to pick a winner just yet. It's kind of early. I like to see something, to see if I see something at the weigh-in or the walkout. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
sir.
Yeah, and I like to see what do I see? Is it the eyes? Is it the attitude? And is it sometimes I don't know until that bell rings. But before those gloves hit, I'm already telling you who I'm going to pull for or whatnot or who I'm going for. I always try to make an educated assessment on who I'm rooting for, and at the same time, I just want to see two young warriors just go at it. I want to see like a Tommy Hearns Marvin Hagler or a Sugar Ray Leonard Tommy Hearns classic. How does that sound?
Well, I hope that we both have it in us to give something great like that. But I think that would be amazing, man. I'm willing to do everything it takes to win. So if it requires that, then that's what it's going to require.
Sounds good, man. And I'll let you know if I'm able to make that trip, man. I want to thank you once again for taking time out of your training. And I wish you well in your training camp, man, and I wish you well in the fight. And I know you're going to give everybody their money's worth and make one historical fight come July 23rd.
Thank you, Richard. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for having me, and let's do it again soon.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, brother. All the time. Thank you. My man, Giovanni. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank our guest, Giovanni Cabrera. I want to wish him well in his fight. He has a tough fight with Gabriel Flores Jr. July 23rd in Minnesota. Top Rank Boxing, ESPN. If you have not subscribed, subscribe to ESPN. You got to get the app, man. And it's very feasible. Every boxing fan should have it, as well as DAZN Boxing taking place this Saturday. I don't have the poster to pull up, but taking place this Saturday. You have Texas. It's taking place in Texas. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, the youngest active champion right now as we speak, with his toughest opposition that's going to take place. That's Gabriel Flores' poster. We're talking about Bam Rodriguez. He fights this Saturday. Jessica McCaskill is also going to be on the undercard, who is a former guest on the show, and got to have her back. And I also want to have, there we go, that's the poster we're talking about. And got to have Rick Ramos back on the show. And you know what? You got to tune in to this event. The Martinez fight has been scratched because the Martinez, I don't know exactly what happened, injury, or I don't know. I really don't want to give an opinion if I don't know the facts. But I will say this. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you tune in Saturday. Continue to follow us here at The Fighter's Voice. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe. www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast, saying goodnight from Fresno, California. As always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.